I switch to you, Ludovic Gelin. You are the head of the project technical support for the Comprehensive Technical Education Initiative, TCTI, and actually GIZ was mentioned today, of course, for Egypt as well, and the European delegation. But you were mentioned several times in the interventions and in the activities you were doing. I suppose that you implemented or introduced some standards to the industry and also a tool for quality management. So maybe you can advise us a little bit more, or maybe reflect also on what has been said before.
Yes, good afternoon. I would like to thank you, to thank EduTech for having this opportunity to be part of this panel. All my appreciation to the Ministry of Education, because we have a close collaboration with GIZ for years, and also the service provider representing the private sector. We have really decades of collaboration in the dual system schools, and I would like to appreciate that. And that I will concentrate on, so TCTI is one of the projects supporting the reform. So we are in close collaboration, close cooperation with USAID and other partners to come up with an aligned support. And I would like to highlight two initiatives. We have lots of initiatives, but two, one in quality management and the other one in we call that the sectoral competence development. We mentioned the COC were mentioned, so I will give you some updates on that. So on the quality management, I will focus perhaps more on CCAT, because I think we are at the doorsteps to implementing a quality system in Egypt. It was a concept during years, but now we are in the implementation phase in the next few years. So EDCON, mentioned by Dr. Dalia, will define standards and provide the accreditation. It's an independent body. And then we are considering how to get these schools to this accreditation, how to support them. So we have this entity, a new entity within the Ministry of Education. We call this entity CCAT. And we are supporting CCAT in terms of organization, how to plan and to support these schools in a very positive way, because quality has to be positive and I would say not criticizing the quality, but being part of an improvement plan. So we are working closely with CCAT, and as mentioned, we are developing a digital tools to make sure, because we are talking about thousands of schools, to make sure that any audit, any assessment of the gaps in a school are reported and are measured, and we are measuring the progress of the schools in the next years to get to the accreditation, to facilitate and to support them. So that's a digital tools developed and that will be implemented. And I think in the following months, you will have a ceremony to celebrate I would say the creation of the CCAT, the launch. Yes, thank you. The launch of CCAT. That's an important, I would say, body to get to the quality, and I would say quality and the culture of excellence is really something that is really important for the economic and the private sector to be competitive in an international environment, and to develop the private sector and the economic sector. It's one of the key elements to have qualitative workforce. So that's it for. So we have several interventions in the governorate. So the scale of the intervention is really wide. That's one of the challenge, because we are cooperating at the institutional level, but also in the different governorates all over Egypt with, of course, thousands of schools needing some support. The second point would be more based on German cooperation experience with the private sector. We have very good relation, and I would like to thank the service provider. They are key elements of the dual system. So we have schools, and we have more than 4,000 companies in Egypt working with us in the dual system. So we came up with a new concept, I would say, an innovative initiative We call that the sector competence development. It was mentioned. So basically, in a sector, how to develop competence and in network schools and companies supported by a center of competence, having state-of-the-art training, teachers, equipment to make sure that we are supporting economically the sector, their challenge, and we are tackling now, we are starting in 2 sectors, agriculture and food processing. And the second sector is tourism, and we will probably work in other sector, 2 to 3 other sectors in the next years. So in these sectors, we are now developing the orientation. What are the occupation? What are the needs for the students, but also for the companies in the sectors? So how, and in the following months, I would say we will have an educational concept. What could be the support in this sector, in this region, to upskill and capacitate students, the future labor force, but also the existing labor force. So that's one of the innovation. And I would say in this center of competence, you could have the state-of-art and new technology, digital technology. And I invite you to go to our booth. You have a demonstration of, for example, a welding, how can I say that? A welding, oh, okay, you can, yeah, I forgot it. Okay, you have you have also a career guidance tool, a virtual tool to, so in demonstration, and a welding simulator. Yes, that's it. That could be an example of what could support the sector and prepare students before being in a situation on job welding to have, you know, a preparatory prerequisite skills. And that's some of the example of what we want to develop in the near future. So that's for me, I think, in terms of time.